the Dragget show. That's not an answer. Woo is not an answer to a yes or no question.
I always thought it was is that how? Oh.
That's a 10. How you doing? How long you got?
Dude, what if you're in a job interview like that?
What, yes or no, but woo?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're in a job interview and these guys like, so could you tell me about your qualifications for this job?
Woo!
Alright, now where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Aww.
Interesting. What do you bring to the table that no other person does?
Everybody, do the same pepper here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, act. Alright, this half of the room, kazoos.
This half, E major. That's my job.
Alright, they challenged you. Alright, ready, everyone. Okay.
Where am I sitting? Tell me where
They have not
No! Hey Chris, can you be my cameraman and make sure this person shot? That's you and your constitution. I am not worth the damn thing. Hey, good job.
Guys, everyone, I need your attention. We gotta make this fast before he gets here. We are playing I Would Walk 500 Miles. I would walk 500 We are playing that in unison. Once Boozy walks in the door, no one start. Everyone, hide it in your hand. I want you to start when he reaches that camera. Dead silence in the room. He will be confused. He will walk up to the camera and then all of us start. That's the countdown. Is that camera sitting right there? Does everyone hear what we're doing? Let's hear it really fast. Let's hear 500 miles. Oh. Good. All right, hide those things.
Not there.
Not there. Everyone, please play the kazoos with your mouth.
Whoa. Let's not discourage talent.
Children!
Who's these children?
Lost cause.
Lost cause, dude.
What?
What? Oh, ask Benny.
Excuse me? You heard me.
Yeah, what's that mean? Hi, that's the same question I did.
All the way again. There's a chair. Everyone.
I don't know how serious this is.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. You are fearful, Snake. Oh my God, thank you so much. Please find a later to have just me and
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, just take
Oh.
Excuse me.
I think it's on now.
Oh no, it's back.
Hello. Oh, it works. Yeah, we're do it. All right, guys. Hello, and welcome to the Dragget Show, and we're here at Fursquared. Let's do some introductions.
Wait. What? Why did you seek the short person behind the tall piano?
I didn't see anyone.
I'm sorry. Due to popular complaints, we are putting you behind the piano. There was a lot of glare coming off of certain parts of your anatomy. Nope.
I will take off my pants.
I don't think we need that much money for charity.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, going forward.
That's all.
Also, I'm going to let everyone in the audience know this because you were facing me and I'm facing out. As he said, I can take off my pants. 2 cops walk past the door. Here we come?
Okay.
All right, guys, I think...
Okay.
Go ahead.
We think. We're thinking. Oh, there's puppies out there.
Oh, puppies!
We like puppies.
Puppies are adorable.
Oh, don't pet those puppies, honey.
They're dirty. Is he coming?
We can do introductions now.
Introductions. Who is up here?
Oh, who else is up here?
Xander, start from the other side.
Oh,
You do the introductions. That's your job. Who's Goldilocks? I do the intro. You do the introduction. Wouldn't let you leave what?
The bar!
You know why?
Something about you.
Words now! Oh, I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks about 100 miles and passing the war. Words.
This was a trap, you know.
I haven't heard that many buzzing assholes at a furry convention since Bad Dragon introduced vibrators.
Ladies and gentlemen, Boozy Bastard!
You said the non-fur name.
Boozy Barrister!
Every time you say boozy, every time.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Except that one time you called me the boozy banister.
Hey, I found you in this 12-step program.
I'm just glad you haven't called me the boozy barista yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Boozy Burrito! The orchestrator of the Kazoo Army, ladies and gentlemen, QL! Your guest of honor and apparently in charge of my con because he has a nice suit. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Iggy! A staple to the Dragget Show, this gentleman was somebody who encouraged us to no end and then called us idiots after our first episode. Thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, Dragget! And of course, one of the special guests of Fursquared, ladies and gentlemen, an inanimate wine glass!
And its holder, Uncle Kage.
Yes. This is Xander the Blue.
this is Alkali.
And I'm not here. Welcome to the Dragget Show, everyone!
I'm going to be deaf in the right ear in the next 20 minutes.
Oh, and I'm sorry, and apparently, Zombie, the floating head.
Can we move away?
Thank you so much for the kazoo army. I don't know why.
This was my boyfriend's idea, so yell at him.
Okay. What is it? Oh dear.
What?
Ah, it's wonderful. Thank you.
What is being...
What?
Can we get this on camera?
Holy crap. Well,
Johnny, can I have a whip?
What? What is happening?
Taste the rainbow. Guys, what's happening is chemistry. My.
I have a feeling I think I know what happened. Is this a bunch of Jolly Rancher vodka?
Yes, it is.
amazing.
Give me the green one, you cheap bitch.
Only if we hear the slide whistle.
Wait, what was that?
Only if we hear the slide whistle. Give him the bitch. I mean, give the bitch the alcohol.
Wait.
You know, there used to be a website called clownporn.com, and that's what played when you went there. What?
That is not the right time to come out live.
It is the right time to come out.
The words that summon me!
You said the secret word!
Hey, can you do it in the table?
Yeah, I got it, don't worry.
To be fair, when I hear that secret word, I scream.
Hey, if you can name the name of the clown song we all just played and laughed about, the actual name without just yelling it out at once, I'll give you a sip of this. What is it? March of the Gladiators! Do it!
Entrance of the Gladiators, thank you. Entrance of the Gladiators.
Before we go on, I just want to say this. I can't believe that this panel is at standing room only. That is the coolest thing, guys. Thank you so much. Right. Do you want left instead? Would you stop giving me poker chip? This is not
Hey, got one in the glass. Whose hat is that is covered in spit?
That's my hat.
Oh, sorry.
No, check underneath.
Alkali.
Check under the hat.
It's more chips. So I just found a pile of money. I love this convention. That's the thing. I've got Uncle Kage up here with me, and sometimes when you guys aren't around, we tell our own convention horror stories. He's like, oh, I've seen some shit, and I'm like, so have I. Piles of money. I think my convention is winning.
Whoa, that was quite
So I have a chip in my sleeve.
You have a chip in your sleeve.
Yes.
You got one on your shoulder, too, dude. There you go.
Slide whistle.
I gotta tell us, people, aren't your parents in this audience?
Yes.
Not this time.
You know, I met Mr. and Mrs. Dragor, and he was telling me, yeah, I told my parents I was going to like this gaming convention, and I was trying to break to them. I said, give me a second. I went to Mr. and Mrs. Dragor. I said, yo, your boy said that he took you to this gaming convention. They said, oh, we knew.
Wait, where are they? I don't know where they sat. There we go. Let's give a round of applause for my existence.
Thank you for the 23 chromosomes apiece.
We did that.
Wait. Just twice. Just for me and my brother.
I gotta hand it to you. That was the most traditional thing I've ever seen. His mom, oh dear Lord, dead. Yes! Twice! Well played.
They're furries, ladies and gentlemen.
So let's start off with a bang, shall we?
They already did.
Twice.
Yeah.
Hey, Boozy!
Yeah.
I would love for the Dragget Show audience to know about Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear. This is a real thing. You can go see it. Back in the late 70s, early 80s, there was a drug smuggling ring out of Lexington, Kentucky called The Company. They would fly to Miami on a single engine plane. They would load it up with cocaine and they would fly it back to Lexington, Kentucky. A disbarred lawyer was integral in that he flew the plane. He flew it down to Miami, he started to fly it back, the plane had trouble. He strapped about 9 duffel bags full of cocaine to himself with a parachute and jumped out. The parachute failed.
Oh no.
For months, all around northern Georgia and southern Tennessee, they located duffel bags full of cocaine. The final bag was located several months after the jump when somebody noticed a corpse on the side of the road.
Oh no.
It was a large black bear in southern Tennessee. Beside that bear was a duffel bag, which had been ripped open and was completely empty. The autopsy report on that bear reads, and I quote, "Stomach is stuffed full with cocaine." The bear ate an entire duffel bag of cocaine and then died. Bears are dangerous creatures to begin with. But for several minutes, that bear was the most dangerous creature on earth. We're not done. Outside of the cocaine, the bear was otherwise in perfect shape, so they taxidermied it and placed it in a Georgia State Museum. The taxidermied bear was moved to the basement over time and then sold to a Las Vegas performer, where it sat in his mansion until Willie Nelson bought it. At some point, the bear was sold at auction. It now sits in a souvenir shop in Lexington, Kentucky, wearing a Kentucky Colonel's baseball hat. You can have your picture taken with it.
Excuse me, Mr. Badger. Is the bear still stuffed with cocaine?
It was till Alkali went to visit.
You leave me alone! I needed energy!
By the way, that's your next persona.
Just cocaine.
Cocaine bear.
Oh man.
You think he's a polar bear? He just hasn't washed since he sneezed last night.
I find it weird that I actually could say, speaking of Cocaine Bear, we were playing charades at one of my friend's house, and I got Cocaine Bear as a charade thing. Yeah, right? Yeah, right?
You play way better charades than we do.
Oh my god, okay. Speaking of that, just as a side note, we were playing charades, right? And one of my friends got tree, so he just does this. And so we guessed tree. My next friend right after that got Jesus, so he does this. I'm like, Jesus!
It's all in the tilt of the head. Tree.
Oh yeah,
Tree is still alive.
Oh yeah. But anyways, so we were doing the cocaine, so I got Cocaine Bear. So I ran over to my friend's kitchen, I grabbed a bag of flour, tore it open with my mouth, flour, and I started throwing it everywhere, just entirely destroying his living room, throwing flour on everything. Flipped his couch over and ran out of the room, and that was the last time I saw him, like, in a week.
Alright, when you next see Huscoon, I want at least one of you to recommend for next year full contact charades. If you have a camera phone, please record his reaction. Maybe we'll make a Fursquared video.
I want to see the reaction from the lawyer for that.
Full contact charades to the death.
Alright, can we limit the amount of panels at Fursquared that are labeled as to the death? Denied! Oh, that's right. Toad, don't get ideas.
Well, now wait a second. Alkali, what is your liability insurance like?
Oh, what is my liability insurance like? A piece of paper that I used a bunch of crayon to say I'm screwed. Is that okay?
You do have liability insurance?
Thank you, I guess.
What is
This
that?
is the Dragget show. Yes, I have
Well,
liability
what's the
insurance.
policy limit?
I believe if I remember correctly.
Can you take this out back, please?
Fursquared has a $2 million policy limit. So,
Don't tell them that.
after the panel, if you would like to meet me in the hallway, a mysterious staff member will be kneecapping each and every one of you.
It's not mysterious. I'm short. It's eye level. It's me.
By the way, please don't go do $2 million worth of damage to the hotel.
Fursquared, come for the improv, stay for the kneecapping.
I'm just fascinated by the programming next year. I comedy better to the death.
Whose line is it? When you die.
New line.
Yours.
You're dead.
New line. We already did murder that.
Alkali, monkey knife bites.
To the death. All right, now this one's gonna get awkward. Artemis to the death.
Wait. It goes any other way?
Oh yeah.
You can survive?
I will say this. Artemis has been a staple of this convention since year one. But I will never forget the first crew that piloted the Artemis. If you don't know what that is, in the lower level of this hotel, we have a video game called Artemis. It is a 6-player spaceship simulator. The very first crew that went on it sat down, and the engineer turned up their engine so much that the pilot accidentally shot them right into a black hole. And in unison, all 6 of them went, I don't think we can do better. So, try Artemis, black holes.
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but there are probably some people in here who have never actually seen the Dragget show. Would you care to explain what this is all about?
Xander, that's on you.
Well, we are 20 minutes in, so it's pretty late. So I'm just gonna go to Patreon questions now.
Wait. So to answer Kage's question, if you haven't figured out that this is about sadness and regret, you're slow.
I absolutely I love that Kage sets up Xander's like, what's the Dragget show about? He's like, it is too late for that. Also, are you playing your kazoo in wine?
To the death.
Fox Amore needs to join in this one.
Oh my God, Judy.
What?
Do a Titanic reference.
This is very dark.
Is that what it sounds like when they're sinking?
And now, if you were ever wondering, that is how Kage aerates his wine.
They did say the band played till the end.
Too soon.
We did it again before.
I have questions.
Go, Xander.
All right, Skylar Ringtail is
Hi,
here.
Skylar.
Basically, he was asking, since it's February and all that kind of stuff still, that what do you do to date yourself to treat yourself out for a good time?
You date somebody else, dude.
Oh, I know what he's talking about. One hand, 5 minutes, always lefty. There.
Always. Well, you don't want to cheat, right?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't cheat on you, dude. Boozy, have you ever done The Stranger?
We call it Electric Jesus for some reason. What?
I forgot about that. I came into the bedroom once. He says, "Oh fuck, my arm's asleep." I'm like, "Were you doing The Stranger?" And he looks at me deadpan. He says, "No, the Electric Jesus," and never brings it up again. And I was sitting there trying to figure it out. You ruined my day.
My kids are in the room.
Oh yeah. So.
Wait. At Kage's con, the kids were in the room and they started shouting blood ritual?
Yeah, I really don't. I don't want my son walking around screaming "The Stranger."
Wait a minute, whoa! QM, what was that?
So he would just walk, like after you guys did that episode, for about a week solid, he just walked around the house saying, Alkali's fuck tub!
And what did your child do?
My precious...
Alkali's fucked up.
Now
That one,
3-year-old
right?
son.
Then he stopped and went,
Anyway.
It is not fun for the whole family. Dear God, stop listening to us with your kids present. They're learning or forgetting, and I don't know which is worse.
I just want you to know I have to think about Alkali's fuck tubs 5 times a week because I walk through the merchandise mart on the way to work and they have like a showroom for like bathrooms. So I'm just surrounded by Alkali's fuck tubs as I walk through the place.
That is not the proper train of thought to go to work.
Oh, and one of the brands is called Smeg. I'm not even kidding.
All right, so I'm going to do a change topic at this point.
Thank you.
Does someone have a Phillips screwdriver? The microphone stand is literally falling apart, and I can fit. Do you actually have one? Give me your dad. Come here.
Oh, that's
Wait a minute, what the hell? This is not a daddy.
Wait. Just so you know, you should not be happy right now.
Which side does he get it from?
Yes.
which I don't think they know what you're referring to, but they're about to find out.
Take off your hat, sir.
We dropped him on his head as a baby.
There we go.
He just avoided the rush.
I do have to tell you a quick story about this man. So I had the pleasure and the honor of going to Vegas with Dragor and his parents, and I taught him how to play craps.
Yeah, but I was lucky for you. How much money did you
Oh, you were very lucky. This man is a luck gold mine, but that's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about your reaction to losing exactly $1.40.
Hey, I can make Lincoln scream.
Oh, dear God. He was sitting at an electronic craps table with me, and all of a sudden I hear him go, "Son of a fuck!" I'm like, "Oh, how much did you lose?" He goes, $1.40. And I looked at him, and he looked back at me, and he goes, "Jews." And that was it.
I still need this.
Cheers.
Did you find a penny craps machine?
There is a penny craps machine in Vegas. It's the electronic bubble pop thing. You can bet any
Jiggle
amount.
craps!
Yes. Jiggle.
They retired that machine and we were all furious.
What?
It was under construction this year at BLFC.
Jiggle craps is gone. Also, let's not call anything else jiggle craps. I'm declaring it now.
You know, there is this thing called Pepto-Bismol.
God damn it.
I got more questions.
More questions.
All right, Shelly.
Hey, Shelly.
Not sure if you got this one. What is a food or drink that you would absolutely refuse to try?
That one.
Apparently, microphones are a food and drink Kage refuses to try. Kage, what is a food or drink you refuse to try?
Durian! Fuck you!
Alright. Iggy, a food or a drink you refuse to try?
Water.
Welcome to Fursquared. Boozy, food or drink you refuse to try?
Tofu.
QM, food or drink you refuse to try?
Alligator?
Okay. You're a vegetarian, that doesn't count.
It counts! It's like chicken! Hey, it took me a while to find a meat we didn't eat. My parents shot everything.
So,
The only reason you've ever had alligators is they wouldn't let your dad in the Clyde's reptile world. You guys have to understand, my father-in-law was like, yeah, I used to keep my family fed by hunting year-round like a real man. And I'm like, that's not legal. You were poaching, sir. You're a felon. Then he threatened to shoot me, and I'm not allowed back at Thanksgiving.
Do we have any Hot Ones fans in the audience? I will not eat a Carolina Reaper.
We would play a funeral for your asshole.
We are not playing a death march for his asshole.
Do it with the kazoos now.
Wait, what song are we doing?
Death march for your asshole.
Kazoos were a great idea.
Guys, I have a huge favor to ask you. If you've ever known me, I am a surrealist, and every once in a while I am a very morbid surrealist. You all need to bring kazoos to my funeral, and that's how I want to be lowered into the ground.
You know, this is recorded. People will remember this.
We will
Good
make
job.
it happen. Everyone's going to be like, why is the Dragget show about bees?
Nisbet, would you please go to the bar and get us a glass of Riesling, or else Kage won't talk?
No.
Thank you.
Wait, Alkali, savor the moment.
Comedy Bunny, what won't you eat?
Dick.
Bullshit.
Dragor, what? Oh no, you already said the
Alkali.
hot wings. And Kage, what won't you eat? Oh no, you said you're dirty. Oh wait, I have to answer shit?
I'll go.
Oh yeah, you go.
Gay alligator?
Gay alligator.
You can tell.
Gay alligator.
Have you seen Wally Gator? He's got like hat and a collar. What? I'm done.
Haters.
Alright, so he won't eat gay alligators.
Wait.
That's nice.
Wait, is a gay alligator a crocodile?
Crocodile, yes.
Going back
Crocodile,
over to
huh?
what QM said. If you are married, I need to recommend highly that you do not lie to your children and tell them, no, it's just chicken. Because that's how my family got me to eat alligator. They told me it was breaded chicken. And I didn't hate it, but I didn't trust them afterwards. So they waited years and years until one Christmas, when my mother handed me a bowl of dark black soup and told me, don't worry about it, it's chocolate soup.
Oh no.
Now we're going to see who figures it out by region. My mother was 100% Polish. Some of you know what it was. It was not chocolate soup, because that day I had home-prepared duck blood soup. It was amazing. However, I still don't trust them.
I mean, at least though it wasn't it was something you enjoyed.
I did, yeah.
And it wasn't a friend of yours.
Oh no.
Yeah, the reason I stopped eating meat entirely was I had a pet picnic, Gilligan. I loved him and played with him, and I dressed him in little outfits.
Mike.
One day I came home from school and we were eating pork chops. And my dad thought it was amusing to tell me who I was eating during dinner.
Jesus Christ.
Holy
Excuse me, your dad was a dick. Excuse me. That's the director's cut of Charlotte's Web.
Something.
Did you litigate the proceedings after that?
That was 11.
My father-in-law and I, we just do not get along. Partially because of the eating of the pig.
Oh man.
partially because I wasn't joking. He pulled a gun on me at Thanksgiving.
I do have more questions. We gotta go through these. All right. What's the dumbest way you've injured yourself as a child? By Wheat Thins. Thanks, Wheat Thins.
Wheat, that's right! You hurt yourself with Wheat Thins!
What? You swallow them sometimes, and it just goes sharp down your throat.
That is not what he did. He described to me his childhood injury with Wheat Thins. He's like, so I had just watched a movie where a guy had razor blades in an apple. I ate a Wheat Thin, swallowed too early, and started crying because I thought it happened to me. I appreciate your parents for some weird reason.
Why do I tell you anything?
Because I'm going to tell it on the show. Childhood injuries. Who's got a childhood injury?
So I was with my parents visiting a dear relative, and we were just staying long. We were going through the fridge. I was going through the fridge. Someone else was going through the freezer, and then someone goes, "Oh, there's ice cream." To which I go, "Ooh, ice cream." And I snap up and I hit my head so hard on the freezer door, I go, "I'm kind of tired."
That's not good. Childhood injuries. Chris, go.
Well, I was wandering around in the woods and I found a rusty butter knife sitting in the woods and I was like, nice. And then I kept wandering around in the woods and I found a piece of shitty rope and I was like, nice. And then I was like, there's a tree over there. I bet I can make a grappling hook.
You watch too many cartoons. Holy shit.
So I tied the shitty rope to the rusty butter knife, and I threw it in. And to my surprise, I managed to get it to catch. And I, in my little 10-year-old body, do a couple of tugs, and it's like, whoa, it's tight. I bet I can climb. So then I start climbing, and I get 1, 2, and then the bark snaps, and the knife falls down and goes. And then it goes, oh, and I go, ah, and my buddy, who's off in the distance because he's smart, is like, hey buddy, I'm like, I'm fine, it's fine, hey buddy, it's fine, I'm fine. And then he wasn't saying, hey buddy, he was saying you're bleeding, because I pull my hand down and it's just covered in blood, and then blood just starts running down my face. And I'm like, ah! And then I go running into my house, and my mom's like, what's going on? Ah! There's blood curdling down my face. At which point she was like, ah, and she's like, just give me your head, and she just fucking covers it in glue. And then she's like, you fine? And I'm like, I think so.
Is that why you're able to keep it together?
That's why I have a soft spot.
Iggy, childhood injury.
Like the worst one or the best one?
Whatever you want to
Dumbest
tell.
one.
Microphone.
Let's go with the dumb one. So normally you can catch a ball and it ends up in your hand. Well, this time the ball caught my hand and that was how I dislocated my finger.
Ooh. Boozy, childhood injury.
There I was, looking wonderful in my brand new starter jacket, the puffy kind that every kid in the early 90s wanted. Yeah. And then I decided to climb down the manhole. And then I slipped. And then I laid in the sewer with my chin busted open from hitting the road on my way, and every one of like the metal rungs on the way down, with my brand new starter jacket covered in blood and human fecal matter. And then I went home and washed it, hoping no one would notice. And then I went to the hospital when my dad walked in.
Boozy, what did you learn from this?
Don't wear your starter jacket into the sewer with you.
QM, go ahead. QM, childhood injury.
My brother hit me in the eyebrow with a shovel trying to bury our pet parakeet.
That is brutal and awesome.
It would be great if it wasn't on accident.
Well, he was trying to...
Tweety needs some company, come here.
He was going to chop down a tree with this tiny little, it wasn't even a full-sized shovel. It was like a little, children-sized, a little children-sized shovel. And he just starts, trying to chop down the tree with it. The tree bends the shovel swings back and hits me right in the face.
Oh, Jesus.
There was enough blood in my eye. My mom starts freaking out. She almost passed out. She thought I lost my eye.
Oh my. Hey, sweetie, what did your dad do
What?
when he found out that you got hit with a shovel?
Laughed?
My father-in-law and I don't get along.
Xander's got one. Go ahead.
All right. Long story short, my parents were on vacation, and my brother thought it'd be a good idea when I was like in second grade to put me on his shoulders, like piggyback and whatever, and sprint. And so he's running down a sidewalk, and he tripped. Surprise, surprise! And I go head first, and I crash. And the only thing I see is them looking at me like, oh my God, what the fuck? I'm like, what? And they raced me to the nearby grade school. Basically half my face, of the half the skin of my face tore off. I was basically Two-Face. For the entirety of like my parents' vacation. So they didn't see the worst of it, but yeah, that happened, so. Yeah, fun.
My first job was as a four caddy. If you don't know the difference between a caddy and a four caddy runs ahead and turns around and watches the shot about 200 yards out. At this particular private country club, hole 6 went that way, hole 9 went this way. And I was facing this way, and the ball hit me this way.
Oh my.
But that's not the part of the story that I learned, or that I love. What's up?
It explains everything.
Doesn't it?
The origin of Alkali.
The thing I will always remember is when I finally came to. It knocked me out. And when I came to, I was a little out of it, and I reached into my pocket. Now, I still, to this day, do not know who hit me with that ball, but I do know there was $500 in cash in my pocket. So, in other words, I had a valuable lesson in capitalism.
You're telling me that happened between holes 6 and 9?
6 and 9, yes. Enjoy.
What are you doing?
You need this more than me.
Also, are you doing Hunter S. Thompson?
Yes. This is backcountry.
Wonderful.
All right, we got more questions. Should I go?
Do it.
All right, Eggman. We have an Eggman. All right. Since we already learned not to squeeze the shaman, okay. Shall the next lesson be to not poke the paladin? Okay.
Okay, yes. Don't poke the paladin. They have righteous fury and a decent 2-hit modifier.
But they can't fight back because they're paladins.
Oh, dude, have you not met the Catholic Church? They can justify it. Thank you, guys. I just want to remind you, I gave up years ago. Shut up.
All right, Tyro. Hey, Tyro. Have you ever been in a plane where you were, or anyone else, was hopped on fizzy cherry cola? Oh dear. That's a yes.
So, I was in Seattle, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's legal there, right?
Right.
So, and do as you do and do as the Romans do. So I was there visiting my brother, and he takes me to the store. Choice paralysis. It is kid in a candy store. They make candies now. They make hard candies of fizzy cherry cola. It's really weird. And so, dumbass me went, well,
about that.
I can't take, anything else obvious or whatever, but if it's already in me when I get to the airport, nothing can go wrong, right?
Yes, sir. That's a brilliant idea.
So there's these things called gummies, and they're really delicious. And gummies are not made equal. Gummies are not made equal. So here I am going through, you have that moment going through security where you think of that funny joke. You're like, that shows the bomb. Oh shit, I better not say bomb. And you focus, your brain focuses on bomb over and over and over. And the one thing you shouldn't say when you get up there is that word.
How'd that go for you?
So when they're pulling out the third laptop that I had with me, searching all of my gear for said BOMB, they're like, sir, we want you to understand, we know you didn't mean it, but we want this to be a learning lesson to you. Judging from how you're behaving, we hope you remember this.
Fly the friendly skies.
It wasn't United, I was safe.
If you would like to hear my fizzy cherry cola plain story, I will tell it for the charity story. Because it 100% cannot be recorded.
Okay.
Let's skip that question, seeing as it's not legal in every state. By the way, I absolutely love, I know there's a few, who in here has never seen a Dragget show before, who has no idea why you're in here? Thanks, Zen, you're an ass. I absolutely loved watching the rolling telling of people telling somebody else what fizzy cherry cola means. Because I watched faces roll like, thank you for that moment. Next question.
All right, next question. What is your favorite D&D class and why? Also, check out Wargroove on Steam. It's a tactics and RPG that you can get into. So yeah, what's your favorite D&D class and why? Thanks, Hatter. Sorry.
Oh, Hatter?
Yeah, Hatter the Bear. I did that wrong.
Always, as much as I talk about the necromancy, that I play a necromancer, I play a wizard, no, it is always the illusionist. Because there is two ways to play an illusionist. One, the subtle, trying to make the illusions work, and the other, the hammer of God, making everyone terrified and afraid of reality. And sometimes you just get to switch between the two, especially when you're drunk playing D&D. So yes, Gnome Illusionist, all-time favorite class. And I would love to know, as an ex-D&D player, Kage, what is your favorite class?
I started out on Dungeons & Dragons First Edition in the box.
The red box.
The red box.
The red fucking box.
1979. Yes, thank you. So I heard over here, holy shit, you're old. I was partial to Rangers. And the interesting thing is, this is the one rule you will remember. Rangers only surprise on a roll of 1. Now, this was the days when you only had 6-sided die. Anytime we had to roll for surprise, I would roll and the motherfucker would come up 1. And one day, in anger, I grabbed 10 6-sided die and I got a fucking double Yahtzee of 1s. It was decided at that point that my ranger was both deaf and blind.
I know I've told this once before, but it's still my favorite dice story. A friend of mine who I used to D&D with used to own, for some unknown reason, a pillowcase of 20s. He had hundreds of D20s, and when we would play at his condo. And anytime he rolled a 1, the game would stop. He would pick up the pillowcase, pick up the die that rolled a 1, walk over to his balcony, hold up the pillowcase, and throw the D20 into traffic. He would then sit down and pull out another D20.
Was this a warning to the other D20s?
You know what? The legitimate answer to that is, I really hope so.
We missed him too.
I like how you made him watch.
He made him watch.
He made him watch.
Every time.
Open it. It goes in your story.
Here. Oh my God!
All right,
insane.
leave it to the only person that it doesn't surprise me that he just carries one of these around. Ladies and gentlemen, the way to know your D20 is legit. What are these called?
Calibers.
Yes, is a caliber that I know you've used this. I have watched him test his dice. He argued with me once while playing D&D because I gave him a D20 that opposite sides did not add up to 21, and he refused to play with that dice.
So those dice went through a washing machine twice. You got to use real dice.
All right, so I have to ask, now that people are touching it, has it only been used for dice?
Well, I'm not answering that. But it.
Gotcha.
I like that Kage is testing his wine glass.
It's remarkably uniform.
Go ahead. Last
All right,
question.
I got a last question. Shukin Flash, is he here? Hey, there you are.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Hey, Shukin. All right.
What's
Hi.
going on here?
What do you want to do? Oh, dear. What have you given us? You give us booze. Thank you, Shukin. You're amazing. This is Shukin Flash. He's a great supporter of us. Thank you, Shukin. And so is Xander. So is a lot of you guys. I can't give everyone applause for fuck's sake. Anyway. All right, Alkali, have you heard that black-footed ferrets are endangered in Montana?
I have.
The Department of Fish and Wildlife is going to try and save them by using drones to fire vaccine-laced M&Ms at the ferret colonies. What are your thoughts on this?
Sorry, could you say that again, please?
They're shooting M&Ms at ferrets to save them with vaccines.
Yes, I am very aware of this. Would you like to know why I'm very aware of this? Because this is a comedy convention, and you are all comedians, because in my room I have about 20 bags of M&Ms that you have been giving me over the course of the weekend, and I'm like this close to being a diabetic. So get those kazoos ready, because if anything else goes wrong at this con, I'm going to have a very sweet death.
Alkali, you know...
Oh my God!
My parents are going to be so confused.
Here's how I know Alkali believes in miracles.
How's that?
Because he thinks he's going to repopulate with you, Xander.
Hey, it's bound to work eventually, okay?
Dude, let's give it the old college try.
Excuse me, gentlemen, there was a movie in the 70s called Rabbit Test. I suggest you look it up.
Oh dear.
Your knowledge of old history is astounding.
There's also a movie called Twins.
Oh, we don't talk about twins.
Oh my God.
All right, guys, before we end this off, we are running out of time. We do want to do a charity story. I want to give a few shout-outs. Up at this table, we have a few other people that have YouTube channels and Patreon. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the Boozy Barrister. Boozy, how can they find you on YouTube or wherever you're at?
On YouTube, Boozy Barrister.
That was really good.
On Twitch, Boozy Badger. Or just go to the website lawyersandliquor.com, which I update whenever I damn well feel like it now.
Uncle Kage, what are you doing?
Oh, I noticed that Ronnie's back there, and he'll cry if I don't share my wine with him.
Ronnie's back there. He'll cry if I don't share my wine with
Well,
him.
now you only have half a glass. I want him to come up here and fight me for it.
Dude, you don't... Oh, wait a minute. He's armed.
He's armed with a bottle of wine? Who said to the death?
Excuse me, his is bigger than mine. How come? Boy, that's a loaded question.
Genetics.
He's Asian.
Guys, we have over here Uncle Kage. You can find him on Patreon and doing his monthly wine stream.
As Uncle Kage.
Thank you.
Just sniff the wind for the smell of stale wine. You'll find me.
To the side of the table, we have Chris the Comedy Bunny. Chris, how do they find you?
I'm right here. I don't know why You can also follow me on Twitter at Chris Bond. I talk about fucking cartoons on YouTube.
Whoa, you want to rephrase that?
No, not in a little bit.
Fucking cartoons to the death.
Fucking cartoons to the death!
Oh, by the way, if you want to find Dragor, look up Hair Club for Men. You can.
Whoa. I've been years with this Chrome Dome. We've abandoned the pretense of hair. I subscribe to the monthly Nair delivery.
If you want to find Dragor online, just go to the Make-A-Wish website.
No joke. The first time I showed up at a big furry gathering after I shaved my head, it was before I got into lifting. Someone goes, "Hey, people are asking, are you okay?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Are you asking if I have cancer right now?" And they're like, "Yeah." And to which I respond after a pause, one day at a time.
I have a question. Hold on. When you have a birthday and you have to blow out the candles, do they say make a wish anymore?
Dude, we can paint the top of your head red and you can cosplay as a safety match.
One more shout out. These two have been helping me all weekend. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. I believe your first episode just came out, right? Guys, I want to give a quick shout out. Why don't you turn around and tell them where they can find you? To Gray Muzzle Geekery. My friends, guys, thank you so much for helping us out.
You can find us on Twitter, you can find us on Buzzsprout at Gray Muzzle Geek and Gray Muzzle Geek at Buzzsprout.
And if you could not hear that is, find them on Twitter, Gray Muzzle Geek. They are a gaming cast. They talk a lot about LARPing, D&Ding. It's a wonderful podcast. I finally got a chance to listen. That was very fun. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Kage just asked me, is there fluffy white bullshit both outside and inside?
No, I used Head and Shoulders today. I'm fine.
Okay, guys, we're gonna go with super speed here because we gotta do a charity story. You can find Dragget Show at Dragget Show at everything: Twitter, YouTube, DraggetShow.com, The Dragget Show on Twitter because I'm an idiot and I put a the in there, and that's it. So that's it. Yeah.
Fast introduction. Show of hands. Main stage next year. Thank you.
And before we end this, guys, they're standing. Fuck.
Standing fuck?
Thank you. Thank you for being here, and I say that not for me. I want to give a huge thank you to Xander the Blue, who made me do the first episode of the Dragget Show. Never forget, this show is here because this man thought it would work, and I never believed him. Thank you. Now, we are going to do a charity story. If you don't know what that is, here's how it works. We're about to turn off every camera and... Oh, excuse me? You guys put a bunch of sugar in my system. We are going to turn off all recording devices.
That camera's okay, it's mine.
Oh, is that your camera? Okay, if it's your camera, that's fine. Please turn off all recording devices before that, ladies and gentlemen. One last outro, QM. That means applaud, sorry. Boozy Burrito. Your guest of honor, Iggy. He's not just strong, he is 3 kazoos strong. Chris the Comedy Buddy! Your vice chairman and one of the closest people to me in my life, ladies and gentlemen, Drago. The chairman of Anthrocon and an amazingly talented person. Guys, give it up for Uncle Kage. And of course, the creator of the Dragget Show, my mate, Xander the Blue.
And guys, he doesn't get an applause enough times at all. Give it up for Alkali!
If you have recording devices, turn them off. And once again, if you can, give. If you can't, don't worry about it. Thank you for being here. Here comes the... Oh, good, I didn't have to throw it.
Silver Gattoman, he bought me a coffee. Silver Gattoman, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silver Gattoman, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.